A professora esforça a correr o policial após descobrir por que a branca menina recusa sentar. Emily se parou em frente da sua aula, a tensão bedendo o ar. Um murmúrio atravessou pelos alunos eletricidade. Todos estavam esperando, estrondando os olhos no esquema onde Jasmine assentava, a sua mesa, a fortaleza separando ela do caos. Hoje, Jasmine nem olharia para cima. A cabeça estava encobrida entre os braços. Um cocum de vulnerabilidade. Emily sentiu um peso na garganta. O que estava passando? Sorriu o sino como um tiro pega. Um coroamento de alunos excitou de suas entes, empurrando e as apertando com força. O coração de Gipé, ceando. A raiva das vozes passava.
To a whisper. Jasmine's reluctance to attend class was a mystery wrapped in layers of pain. Just then, a loud crash came from the hallway. Emily rushed out, her pulse quickening. She found a group of students gathered around a flickering poster that detailed the history of the neighborhood. The words leapt out at her: segregation, violence, loss. The tension in the room grew heavier than the rain clouds gathering outside. These weren't just words, they were scars, hidden beneath a glossy surface. "What's going on?" Emily asked, scanning the crowd. "Nothing. Just this stupid thing," one boy spat, his brows knotted with anger. Emily's eyes found Jasmine again. "Why won't you come to class, Jasmine?" she whispered later. In the safety of the classroom. But Jasmine only shook her head, her dark curls bouncing with restrained agitation. Days turned into weeks. Jasmine's absence became a shadow looming over Emily. She fumbled through reports, sleepless nights piercing her resolve. Jasmine's final project had been exceptional, raw, soaked with unfiltered brilliance. Now, she was a ghost. One night, Emily sat up, contemplating the links connecting their lives. The neighborhood was segregated.
Corno between hip cafés em negletantes tritas. De vísperas do passado ecoavam por trás das muras, sonhando. Precisava respostas. De repente, chegou uma mensagem: "Me encontre depois da escola." Read, Jasmine. Seu coração lipou. Era, na minha noite. Sombras em arder.
Hallway as Emily waited. Jasmine appeared, hesitant, biting her lower lip. I can't go to class," she said, eyes glistening. "It's my mom. You don't understand." The truth spilled out like a shattered vase. Jasmine's mother was a community activist, fighting against the very systems that marginalized their family. Emily's chest tightened as Jasmine revealed the burden of legacy, the secrets of their past, entwined with rejection and isolation. Before Emily could react, the classroom door swung open and a commotion erupted. Teachers exchanged anxious looks. The administration was breathing down her neck. It was time to call the police. Tension cracked through the air like a whip. Jasmine's eyes widened in fear. All I wanted was for things to be different. Emily left the office, the weight of that decision heavy on her shoulders. In that moment of crisis, the hidden truths of Jasmine's family and their neighborhood collided with her existence. Emily felt the world spinning beneath her feet, uncertain of where to stand. This could either break Jasmine or unite them all. As the police sirens echoed into the distance, the mystery of Jasmine's past hung in the air, an unresolved note trembling with tension. Hey, before I continue with this amazing story, I have to give you an important warning. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube has deleted their subscriptions without warning. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you are still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content. And while you're there, leave that mighty like that helps me a lot with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love getting to know all the amazing people who are part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. As the wailing sirens faded into the distance, the weight of the moment pressed heavily on Emily's chest. She knew she had set a chain of events in motion that could change everything for Jasmine. Her life, her family, perhaps even the community. The tension coiled around them like a snake, every second stretching longer than the last. Jasmine's face contorted with fear. "Please don't," she gasped, her voice trembling. "You don't understand what this will do to us." Emily felt her heart crack. "I just want to help you, Jasmine." Just then, a horrendous crash echoed down the hallway. Students and teachers turned wide-eyed, their faces painted with shock. A group of students charged toward them, shouting, dragging someone behind. Emily's stomach dropped as she saw who it was. "Is that?" she whispered in disbelief. It was Jasmine's mother, her face flushed, hair wild, looking more fierce than fragile. She pushed her way through the crowd, eyes blazing. "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" She pointed Anne. Acusatória fingra a Emily, raiva abrindo debaixo da superfície.
Mãe, por favor, Jasmine acriou. Uma mistura de horror e consolação aconteceu. Depois, algo mudou. Jasmine mãe deixou de joelhos, clavando o chão, sentindo-se perplexo de ir para dentro. "O que você quer dizer?" Emily perguntou, de boa carga dele. Suddenly, Jasmine estendeu a frente. Hell, voz tremendo, capturando o caos. "Não é só mim, Emily, é nós. Mãe tem escondido coisas duras o passado o tempo todo. São irmãos?" E já achou a opinião.
"Do you mean a lie?" Jasmine took a deep breath, her fists clenched. "My mom isn't just an activist. She used to be in charge of the whole neighborhood safety committee. But she was caught in a scandal, a cover-up. The police, the city officials, they framed her, made her look like a criminal when she was just trying to protect us." Emily's heartbeat thundered in her ears. "What are you saying?" Jasmine's mother looked up, her voice low but clear as she faced her daughter. "I was involved in something bigger than either of us understood. I took money to keep the streets safe, and it backfired. It always does." The students gasped, their eyes widening as the weight of her words settled in. Emily felt as if the ground had been swept from beneath her. All this time, the tension, Jasmine's reluctance to engage, had it all been tied to this hidden truth? "Mom, you made things worse." Jasmine's voice quaked with anger. "You hid behind your fight for justice while letting us suffer." "All I wanted was a normal life. I wanted you to be proud." As the raw pain crackled in the air, Emily stood frozen, heart thudding. Grappling com as cascadas secretas que tinham enterrado. A narrativa inteira que ele construiu na mente dela estava desdobando. O que acontece? Mas antes de alguém responder, golpe de concreto correu pelas portas. Again, and the police burst in, their uniforms harsh against the warmth of the moment. The chaos erupted anew. "Jasmine, your mother is under arrest for corruption and fraud," a cop shouted, an icy detachment in his tone. Jasmine recoiled, the color draining from her face. "No, Mom!" Emily's heart raced. Fear, despair, uncertainty flooded through her. What had she stumbled into? As the handcuffs clicked around Jasmine's mother's wrists, the shocking reality crashed down. The only thing worse than an unexamined truth was a revealed lie. Everything about their lives had changed in an instant, and no one was prepared for what came next. As the handcuffs clicked around Jasmine's mother's wrists, the air turned electric with disbelief. Jasmine estude frozen, sua boca aberta, arruída os apontados, esposa, uma extrema secas, o empurrado, e ele toda a sensação de desposo sem parar, boa-lupas, passando pela poesia, de gravidade ao longo do caos. Pode matá-la se por dentro. Tá, stop, wait.
A voz ouviu falar do baixo do crowd. Todos entraram para trás da massa. Com a voz, o ódio perforado. Era Marcos, irmão mais velho de Jasmine, finho-bundo.
Stepping forward with uncertainty, but he ignored her, barreling toward the officers. "You can't arrest her. You don't understand anything," he shouted, his fists clenched. "She's done nothing wrong." Emily watched in horror as Marcus lunged, knocking into one of the officers. The crowd gasped, instant panic blooming. "Get him! Control him!" the officer barked, shoving Marcus back. The other police rushed to intervene, hands grasping at him, but Marcus wouldn't relent. "She's fighting for us!" His eyes darted between the officers and his mother, desperation clawing at him. Then came the moment. All it took was a split second. Jasmine's mother, still on her knees, suddenly looked up, and for a brief second, everything slowed. "Marcus, stop!" she yelled. But her voice was drowned out by the noise. In an instant, another officer's voice broke through, sharp and commanding. "Step back, now." His finger hovered near a holstered weapon, and that's when Marcus froze, realizing the weight of the moment. Jasmine felt the rush of panic grip her heart. "Please just stop," she shouted, tears streaming down her cheeks. But the scene spiraled into chaos, emotions running wild. And then, just like that, the unexpected twist abrupted the air. A sudden explosion of sound, a deafening crack like thunder. Emily flinched, her heart leaping into her throat. The crowd erupted in screams, chaos flowing like a river as people scrambled away. A nearby window shattered, glass raining down as a figure staggered through, clutching a bloodied hand. Da polícia imediatamente tornaram afocado. Confusão somente amplifia a tensão. "O que aconteceu?" Alguém chamou, por favor. A meio do caos, Marcos caiu para o chão, olhos vivos com a cara de choque. "O que bacana!" Ele foi atrás do pânico, morfando para uma realização que enviou Emily se passar por baixo da espinha da Jasmine. Sentiu o poder do potencial. Finalmente é decomoço e maestra da filha da polícia. É tempo para falar. Mas isso pode, e agora é hora. Se preparada para mudar tudo o que tem junto à maestra da calma e da bem-vinda. E tempo antes. E aí, para a revelação, é quase enigmático, a guia. Foi um fim. Na boa. Morcada. Moveu-se mais um pouquinho. Finalmente, entrei e tentei, pode, a atenção, a opinião, imediatamente para depois abordarem o cafilha daga e decisão. O que chamar habido para dentro de nós. É tempo. E esse dia tá de ser bastal a chave de Zou. Cinematizado. Pago é ação pelo amor. Não deve ser fácil. É tempo, alegria, todas as casas, iniciadas, para todos nós. Então pergunta, she said, centro do caos, a voz sólida, steady. Be aimed for this moment. What do you mean? Edges. Our family, we're not just victims, Jasmine. We're part of something much bigger. There are ties with the people you know. Her eyes glinted dangerously, the revelation swirling around them like smoke. Emily's head spun, struggling to grasp the implications. What are you saying? But before anyone could answer, a loud crack of thunder rolled outside, a storm rumbling closer. The police officers stood frozen, caught between their duty and the terrifying unknown unfurling before them. Jasmine's world tilted on its axis. "Mom, what ties?" she demanded, desperately seeking the ground beneath her feet. But then Jasmine's mother leaned in, voice low but fierce. "It's not just about activism. We're connected to the people they fear, to their secrets." A realização cacou sobre Emily. A casa parece que prendeu-se a eles como nuvens de tempesta. Neste momento de incerteza, um novo mistério se revelou, deixando-os todos têneres na brinca de uma verdade
inimaginável, que traíra tudo, coração rasteira, e com isso, a tempesta furiosa a ira fora. Os ecos do torpente trombavam no corredor, envolvendo-os em porradeira de causes e visão de revelação. Estavam na mão de quem era e, contudo, caminho da guerra. Emily ficou à beira a situação dos O'Baggins. Afle.
Watch na awareness da Jasmine's Mother Secretos, a história dombrando como uma nuvem.
White's Heights,
Jasmine sussurrou de novo para a desesperada. Extensão chegou a um ponto de francorte, ele abriu pânico. Chispatos pararam a cidade, mas as palavras ficaram em peso na batalha. Everybody stay calm. Um brinquedo tranquilo. Follow protocols. A tente chorou, mas o ferido atonicamente. O horizonte se afastou, sombras vibrando no caos. Jasmine's mother veio silenciosamente do fundo. Havia uma intensidade serena como ela pateava a pua dela. James, we need to go. Now, she commanded, an electric urgency infused in her tone. Suddenly, the doors swung open, and another officer burst in, a frantic look painted across his face. We need everyone to shelter in place. A suspect is on the loose. His words struck like a hammer, a wave of panic flooding through the students and teachers alike. Jasmine, we need to hide. Emily pulled at her, but Jasmine's gaze stayed fixed on her mother. Mom, what do we do? That's not important right now, her mother snapped. The truth is bigger than us. Protect yourself. But just as Jasmine took a step back, the world shattered around them. The overhead lights flickered, and then, through a caos, a deafening gunshot rengou. Tempo estava silêncio. O ar friou com um expor coletivo fleve ecoou ao quarto. Emily socorreu quando se movia. Seus olhos fiados equipamentos apenas tentaram para baixo, quando o momento deles começou a cebar ao quarto ao lado. Aquele local foi dominado, enquanto Emily ia embora, repartiu para pouso o medê gabucho. E aquele momento, sentiu. This was all conectado. A comunidade paz, Jasmine estragos, seus segredos e mãe. E agora isso. Forre, a mãe de Jasmine falou. Mas antes de qualquer pessoa que movesse uma outra figura benta para a porta. Usava uma máscara negra com a arma em mão, entrando na sala de aula. Everyone down! The masked intruder barked, voice rough and commanding. Chaos erupted once more. Students screamed, scattering away from the intruder, while teachers rushed to block the door. Emily felt herself being pulled back, her instincts kicking in to flee. But Jasmine was frozen, eyes wide, her entire world collapsing in an instant. Mom? Jasmine, go! Her mother yelled again, fierce urgency lingering in her voice. And then she turned to the intruder, jaw set. As if preparando para bate. Você não tem que fazer isso. Um momentâneo choque atravessou o rosto do intrudor. E por momento a tensão pesada no ar. You think you can protect them? He sneered, olhos adiantados pro meio. Jasmine's mother. You made your choices, it's time to face the music. Emily felt the ground spinning beneath her, the connections falling into place like pieces of a puzzle. Who were these people? What ties did Jasmine's family have that involved this violence? Then with breathless intensity, Jasmine stepped forward defiantly. Stop, whatever's going on, you're hurting my family. You don't know anything. But the masked figure smirked, the tension taut but ready to snap. You don't get it, do you? You're all players in a game you can't even see. As the words hung in the air, a deafening roar of thunder clapped outside, drowning out their startled breaths. Emily held her own, heart pounding, the reality crashing down around them. What had they stumbled into? The masked intruder raised the weapon slightly, a pulse of dread rippling through the room. And in that chilling moment, Emily realized that everything she thought she knew, the truth, the secrets, the fight for justice, was about to become far more complicated than she ever imagined. As the electricity in the air surged, a deep shadow loomed over them all, and with it, a new mystery began to unfold. reeling them into a deeper darkness than they had ever expected. What would this night reveal? And who would survive the fallout? As the electricity surged through the air, the masked intruder held them all captive, the weapons still raised. Time seemed to crawl as fear wrapped around Emily's heart like a vice. The reality of the moment ground against her, harsh and unforgiving. Jasmine's mother stood unmoving, eyes sharp, a fierce protector in the face of chaos. "You don't know the whole story," she shouted at the intruder, determination etching lines across her face. Her words hung in the air, taut with desperation. But Jasmine, rooted in fear, couldn't tear her gaze away from the masked figure. "Please, don't hurt us," she pleaded, voice choked with panic. At that moment, everything felt fragile. Emily watched, heart pounding, the tension too thick to slice through. The intruder shifted, attention split between the chaos and the crisis brewing within the room. "You think fighting will save you?" he spuffed, venom dripping from his words. "This isn't just about you, lady." An unbearable silence fell, a pause heavy with dread. Then, in a heartbeat, Emily heard it, a faint sound, a whisper of a voice behind the intruder. "Let her go, Aaron." Everyone froze. The intruder turned, eyes filled with shock, and for a moment the mask wavered. "What did you say?" he demanded, the gun wavering slightly. And then, from nowhere, a young woman stepped forward. She was petite, with a fierce look and dark hair that fell around her face like a halo of strength. "You can't blame her for your actions. You know it's not right. What are you doing here?" Aaron spat, anger flooding his voice. "You shouldn't be involved." Emily's heart raced. The unexpected revelation struck like lightning. "Who is she?" The crowd around them, once frozen, began to murmur. Whispers coursed through the air. "That's his sister. I heard about her. She's been gone for years." "Stay out of this, Mia," Aaron shouted, panic escalating as the situation spiraled. But she kept moving forward, eyes locked on him. "No, enough is enough. You're better than this." A tensão pairava pesada, e naquele instante o mundo se despedaçou novamente. "Isso não é apenas sobre nós sermos usados. É sobre você escolher a violência." A voz de Mia soou clara, cortando o caos. Então, como se o interruptor tivesse sido acionado, o invasor abaixou. The gun. Shock flitted across his face, replaced by something softer, a flicker of doubt. "What do you know?" he stammered, uncertainty pouring through the air like a fog. "Everything," she stated, her voice steady. "You hid behind those actions, but we're family. The truth matters. These people matter." At those words, Emily felt the ground shift beneath them. Who were they? What history connected these broken threads? The painful surface of their lives cracked open, revelando leiras de penas e horrores que nunca conheciam existir. "Família?" Aaron ecoava, a figura secretando em confusão. "Você acha que isso gera coisa alguma?" "Antes, a Mia foi embora. Está perinado penfunizamente." Silence wrapping around them like a curtain, and then, "No!" Aaron's voice roared, but before he could regain control, something in him snapped like a taut wire. The gun discharged with a thunderous bang, echoing wildly around them. Emily recoiled as chaos erupted. A scream tore through the room, and Jasmine's mother's body jerked back, then crumpled to the floor, blood staining the tiles like a horrifying bouquet spilled across cracked pavement. Time froze. "Mom," Jasmine cried, voice raw with grief and horror. Emily felt her own heart stop, a brewing storm of confusion and guilt swirling inside her. Was she too late? As panic swept through the crowd, people surged toward the exits, pushing against each other in blind terror. Emily's legs wouldn't move. All she could do was stare at the scene unfolding. Jasmine fell to the ground, her hands reaching for her mother, trembling and broken. "No, please no." Amid the chaos, a quiet voice whispered in Emily's ear. This was only the beginning. Every secret they had tried to hide now lay bare in that moment, a truth rising like smoke. Nothing was as it seemed. A family torn apart, hidden histories unearthing painful legacies, and yet, a single moment of violence threatening to erase it all. As sirens wailed outside, mixing with the cries of anguish in the room, a chilling realization settled in Emily's chest. The saga was far from over. There were webs woven too tightly to break, relationships too complex to understand. In grief and fear, they stood on the precipice of something unimaginable, and nothing would be the same again. As Jasmine screamed, time seemed to stretch, her voice laced with despair, echoing off the walls. Her mother lay motionless on the floor, blood pooling like dark ink across the tiles. Emily's heart hammered painfully in her chest, and she felt the world tilt sideways. Panic surged through the crowd. Students stumbled backward, eyes wide with horror. "Get away from her," someone shouted, their voice cracking. "Mom!" Jasmine's hands rushed to her mother, trembling fingers brushing the still frame. Each second felt like an eternity. The weight of the moment wrapping around them like a heavy blanket. And then, the unthinkable happened. Suddenly a loud thud reverberated through the air, as if the universe was giving a warning. Emily's head snapped around, but her gaze fell on a figure emerging from the shadows, a tall man clad in an emblematic jacket. He strode in, calm and unhurried, a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding. The masked intruder turned, surprised. "Who the hell are you?" Ignoring the question, the newcomer stepped forward, moving with unnerving confidence. "You need to leave, Aaron." His voice was steady and firm, piercing through the pandemonium. "Stay out of this," Aaron shouted, raising his gun threateningly. But the man didn't flinch. "Or what? You'll shoot the only person who ever cared for you?" Emily's stomach twisted. Cared? It felt like the very ground shifted as realization dawned. The man, the now familiar face of certainty, was familiar. "Jake?" she whispered, the name escaping her lips before she could hold it back. Jake turned, his eyes scanning the room, locking onto Emily's. "You shouldn't be here," he said, a flicker of concern washing over him. "The truth," he continued, addressing the group, is more tango than você diz. Pânico shiftou em Aaron 6. What are you talking about? Sua mãe não Jay sempre lutou pela justiça. Jake se aproximou da sua mão revendo the air. "You see, there's a reason they're after you, Aaron. There are secrets buried deeper than any of us knew." Jasmine looked up, eyes wide and searching. "What do you mean?" Before Jake could respond, the gunfire broke through the room again, this time from outside the school. A piercing shot echoed, the sound crackling like static. "What was that?" someone yelled, fear rippling through the crowd. "They didn't just come for your mom," Jake said, his voice grave. "This is bigger than we can comprehend. Your family is caught in a web of deceit. There's a reason the community is divided." Suddenly, more figures began to flood in from outside, each wearing dark gear with insignias. "No!" Jasmine shouted, realizing the extent of the threat. "They're coming for us." The masked intruder, no longer masked but revealed, was Aaron's brother, Jake's own sibling. The tension skyrocketed. "What do you want?" Aaron shouted, panic rushing through his voice as he trained the weapon on his own brother. Jake stepped forward as fear gripped the air. "You're all part of a much larger game," he said, launching his own revelation. "I'm not just here to protect you. I'm here because I know the truth. Who really holds the power? We're all pawns." Before Emily could digest the unfolding drama, the realization hit her like a freight train. What lies beneath your family's legacies? She cut in, desperation lacing her words.
Em date momento de repreensão-se, tudo surgiu. Quando a mãe dela aparecia, ela possuía segredos da narrativa que ela sabia. Mas ela sabia? Dentro do peito de consciência, cheias de gangues voltaram e ponta final no fundo. E Emily, dentro de pureza, gritou a tinta. Aumenco, grito voa como vento e gritou com pânico surgindo, atentado por um gesto bem de uma forma competente.
De mal. Emily's vision blur. O coração e a mente não era só o início.
Que a rede que secretos agora soltariam. Quando o calço ia arrastando no peito, cada batida em terror se apresentava. Jasmine teme sua mãe, lágrimas coçando suas tias. O som de mil pânico se fimpava no ar, mas debaixo disso uma tensão mais profunda agoniza. Desesperação ete em cada face. A gravidade do momento pesou em todas elas, como um peso encontrado nos peitos. Jake se aproximou do vidrado, e glisada para a intrusida. Aaron, pensa mesmo. Você é melhor do que isso.
Tremendo em seu grito, torto por lealdade e temor. Está tarde para isso. Eles estão fazendo isso demais, pessoal. Suddenly, as portas da frente se despencaram na basura. Sentindo redelantes, uma grupo de figuras mascaradas surgiu. Mais homens armados penetrando na sala. O impacto do pânico fechou a tensão com dolorosa. Gritou também alguém, e as crianças se apertarão para o próximo. Emily Gasto está rindo, enxergando horror presente, provocando vícios de desespero. Ele gritou. Nem tinha mais tempo. Eles precisavam agir. Assim que percebe que algumas coisas começaram, eles deviam a gritar. Seguiu a jogada. Ela, da mente deles ampara. Ajuda principais. Foi estúpido. Não temos tempo para.
Jasmine. Jake positioned himself protectively in front of them, determination etched across his face.
You can't keep doing this, Aaron. You know it's not what Mom would want. The air thickened, and Emily could barely breathe as all eyes turned back to Aaron. He hesitated, confusion flickering like a candle flame caught in the wind.
What would you know, he spat, the tension palpable.
You don't get to be the hero here. But Jasmine's mother stirred, raising an unsteady hand.
My children deserve to know the truth,
she rasped, pain etched in every word.
I never wanted this. I only wanted to protect you both.
Then everything shifted. Amid the shouting and fear, another sound emerged, an ear-piercing siren. Blaring outside, drowning out the chaos momentarily, echoed down the hall, reminding everyone that the outside world was closing in. The masked figures paused, glancing at each other with alarm. "They're coming for us," one of them yelled, panic rising. In that moment of hesitation, the unthinkable happened. A shot rang out, a deafening, explosive sound that cut through the noise like a knife. Emily's heart skipped, breath hitching in her throat as she turned. Jake dropped to the floor, clutching his side, eyes wide with shock. "No, Jake, no!" Jasmine screamed, rushing forward. Time froze. Emily felt the world around her blur as chaos tore through her mind. "Get back," Aaron shouted, eyes darting, confusion morphing into desespero.
Eu não. Mas então Jasmine se virou para o irmão, implorando. Ajude-o, leve-o até a enfermeira. Os olhos de Jake cintilaram. Uma pontada de compreensão invadindo-o. Eu não posso descer assim. Os intrusos mascarados estavam gritando, dando comandos, passando pelas figuras caindo em desordem. A sala de aula girou para o caos mais uma vez, mas algo mudou em Emily. Ela correu para a frente, pressionando as mãos no ferimento de Jake, o sangue vazando entre seus dedos. "Fique comigo, você tem que ficar." Mas assim que ela sentiu a esperança escapando, outra figura surgiu das sombras, uma mulher com um rosto familiar. A respiração de Emily prendeu na garganta. "Mia,
O peso do reconhecimento a atingiu. Era a irmã mais velha de Jasmine. Sista, os de separar-se-me sempre foi um mistério. Partiu para fazer com ela? Declarou, mas sua voz tremeu sombrio, revelando as cravadas pera sua resolvável. Desse modo, alto Aaron, um alerta perfeita, chegou à razão. Todo o poder dela tem hoje. Coisas pesadeiras pela sua crápula, contudo para acabar com a minha família. With that declaração, o ar se moveu, a tensão suprindo a exepula. Ela olhou para Jake. Você tem que confiar comigo. Tem coisas máscaras puxadas. Emily viu Mia puxar. Something from her pocket, a small device, a key to something bigger. We're not who you think we are, she said, voice firm. This is our chance to turn the tide. Just as the realization struck, gunfire broke out outside again, louder than before. The moment felt suspended in air, a fragile balance between loss and redemption. And in that eye of the storm, a truth was hanging just within reach, something that could shatter everything they thought they knew. Emily's heart raced, desperately seeking answers. What was the connection between Mia, Jasmine's mother, and this violence? And more frighteningly, what plan did Mia hold that could change the entire course of their fates? With chaos only escalating, the truth hung in the balance, but for how long?
As the thunder de chaos echo e coisas plenas tentando tocar o quarto, Emily manteve o semo. Cada segundo sentia uma eternidade nos seus ouvidos. Ramoso consto, olhos altos para Binho. Como pôde ter chegado até aquilo? Jake sobressai um pouco de seus pesos. Mia agora. Ele ordena. Mas o ar ficava muito tenso com o desespero. As figuras mascaradas estavam se acercando. Até a morte. As portas se aproximavam. Pela mesma cidade. Their intentions incliras, mas brinca com menaça. Tirou-me em cima de Aaron, a voz cortando o pânico. Ele falou. Você nunca quiser isso. Aaron hesitou, olhando para a garra.
Ele clute, como uma linha de força, a tensão ficava no ar, pesada e sufocante. Naquele momento, a Uzi estava na primeira e na voz ecoou da câmara. A uma voz ecoou você, desce com ela ponte para cima, com a presença sharpa e menaçante. Com olhos e negros, se apodera de uma mulher simbolizadora e mesenta. Assim perderei os ventos da coisa. De Marta! Jake's voz rebotou em desconfiança. A nova chegada, sorrim, desenhando o caos. Keeping tudo em ordem, óbvio. Jasmine olhou entre eles, confusão esplendendo o medo. Who are you? No time, Marta cut in, her voice a whip. You're all tangled in a web, but the truth is about to unravel. Suddenly, her phone buzzed, and she raised it, glancing at the screen. It's time, she said, urgency creeping into her tone. Initiate protocol. What protocol? Jake demanded, but it was too late. Without warning, Marta pressed a button on her phone. A blinding light flooded the room, white, harsh, and overwhelming. Emily shielded her eyes, heart racing. O que você está fazendo? Então uma explosão alta seguiu, enviando ondas de choque pelas paredes. O estômago de Emily caiu enquanto os destroços choviam. O caos irrompeu. Ela cambaleou para trás, a adrenalina correndo pelas suas veias, a confusão nublando seus pensamentos. When the dust cleared, shadows emerged. A group of men and women in dark uniforms burst through the entryway. Secure the area, one shouted, while others swept past, their faces unreadable. What's happening? Jasmine screamed, looking for answers. Is this your plan? In the midst of the chaos, another gunshot rang out. diverting attention as the officers responded with their own fire. Emily ducked just as a figure lunged forward, barreling into Jake. They crashed to the floor, and in the melee, a revelation hit Emily like a whirlwind. Marta, she's connected, she realized, panic slamming into her. This was part of their plan the whole time. No, Jasmine gasped, confusion painting her face. What do you mean? As the reality of their tangled lives and hidden motives became clearer, the masked figure, Aaron's brother, caught Emily's gaze. "We have to break the cycle," he yelled, desperation etched in his features. "Stop her. You don't understand what she's trying to do." But just as Jake wrestled free from the grasp of the officer, Marta's smirk resurfaced. "You think you can stop us? There's more at stake than your little family drama. This is about a legacy." Before she could finish, there was a loud boom as a door blew off its hinges and another whirlwind of figures burst in. They wore tactical gear, faces hidden, but what left everyone breathless was the flag stitched on their uniforms, crimson and gold. "Do you really think you're finished?" one yelled, voice booming. "We're just getting started." Emily's heart dropped. What was happening? What did all of this mean? Who was pulling the strings? And in that moment of chaos, she felt the world flip again. All the secrets, the struggles, the fighting, they were interconnected, deeper than anyone had understood. With the room swirling with frantic energy, choices needed to be made. Alliances would shift. Our heroes and our villains were redefining themselves. As the chaos intensified, one question thudded in Emily's mind. Who could they trust when everyone was revealing their true colors? The room hung in chaos as the masked figures flooded in, each one a stark reminder of the precária realidade que eles estavam tangulados. O coração de Emily se adrenalina e o medo por suas venas. Ela escutava Jasmine e Jake, com a expressão, "O que fazemos?", desesperação se aumentando na voz. Mas antes de ninguém saber, a sirena sonora ecoando pela sala. O que acontece? Jasmine chorou a mão do seu pai. Podia ter morrido uma vez. Alto do whirlwind of pânico. Aaron's face twisted em confusão. Coelho bagunçado pela sua mãe e os intrusidos. "This is not how it's supposed to go." Ele agaçou, voz cragando. "Stop! Just stop!" Mia se posicionou perto dela. "Estou aqui por você." Words hung heavy in the air, causing everyone to pause. "You're not part of this," Aaron spat back, the anger boiling over. "You left us." But Mia stood her ground. "It doesn't matter. It's bigger now. You need to understand." In that moment, the fray erupted again. One of the armed intruders took a step closer, eyes cold and focused. "Enough of this family drama. We have a job to do." They raised a weapon, and Emily's breath hitched. Then all at once, something exploded outside. Fragile glass shattered everywhere, e repentemo de fogo por ali. Os intrudedores friaram, confusão flashou nas costas. Jasmine sentiu, instintamente. "De cima!" Jake gritou, pulando. Jasmine away from their mother. But before anyone could move, a figure shuffled in through the debris, staggering toward them. Emily squinted, trying to make sense of the frantic silhouette coming to light. "Stop!" a voice cried out, familiar yet distorted by panic. Emily's mind raced. Could it be? "Mom!" Jasmine's voice pierced the chaos like a chord breaking in a symphony. Her mother was standing, bloodied but alive, a shocking contrast to the stillness that had blanketed her moments before. In an instant, the room seemed to spark with disbelief. "What?" Mia's voice trailed off, eyes wide as if seeing a ghost. But their mother wasn't finished. "You need to know," she gasped, every trembling word a dagger. "All this, it was me. I started it." Emily's stomach dropou, confusão surgindo dentro dela. "What are you talking about?" Ela conseguiu dizer, o coração bedendo. Deboqui. Isto. Ela admitiu, dolor à face. O dinheiro, os protestos, a comunidade eram um mal necessário. Proteger a família. Uma onda de choque passaram pelo quarto, deixando todos os zombados. Jasmine estagnou para trás. Mãe, perguntou ela, no contrabando dela. How could you? But before another word could escape, the armed intruder charged forward, weapon raised. Without thinking, Jake leaped in front of Jasmine, blocking the line of fire. Get back, he shouted. Urgency, palpable, in his voice. The tension soared, swelled like a balloon brimming with unspoken truths. And just as the world around them seemed ready to shatter, a voice from the shadows whispered, "It's too late." Everyone whipped around. A figure stepped forward, eyes flashing with recognition. It was Marta. "You were too caught up in the past to see what you were really doing," she shot at their mother. "You've sacrificed everything." Something within the group shifted. A realization sank in, gutting them with a sudden clarity. The air went thick, confusion morphing into a collective horror. Their lives weren't just colliding, they were unraveling at the seams. Then, amidst the chaos, something burst. The last barrier, the true nature of their relationships hung by a thread, teetering on the brink of complete devastation. Emily felt the ground shake beneath her. Secrets unveiled one after another, promising that nothing would ever be the same again. The truth, once a hidden shadow, now stood glaring in the light. "Mom!" Jasmine pulled at her, desperate. "What does this all mean?" But before anyone could respond, the world exploded around them. A flash ignited from the crowd, and the sound of a shattering light surged forward, plunging them into darkness. Then, silence. As the blinding light faded, a hush fell over the room. Dust danced in the air, and everything felt surreal. Emily felt the weight of Jasmine's trembling hands on her arm, pulling her closer to the chaos. "Mom," Jasmine's voice echoed, raw and choked. She reached for her mother, but all Emily could see was the shell of the woman who had fought so hard. The stillness of her body sent shockwaves through them all. But then, Jasmine's mother stirred. With a painful gasp, she coughed, blood flecking her lips. "Jasmine, I'm here," she whispered, and hope flickered like a candle in the dark. Jasmine's eyes filled with tears. "You're going to be okay," she cried, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her. Jake pushed through the chaos to reach them, body shaking. "We need to get her out of here." Suddenly, Marta moved into action, grabbing Jasmine's mother's shoulders. "You have to trust me. I can help." But the masked intruder raised his weapon again. "Stop, all of you." His voice was frantic, but even he felt the shift. In that moment, time slowed. Emily locked eyes with Jake, the bond between them tightening as the chaos twisted around them. "We stick together," she shouted, as if her voice could push through the panic. Jasmine's mother whispered, "You don't understand. They're coming. We have to leave. Now." Just then, the room exploded with sound. Gunfire from outside shattered the tension, and the masked figures looked rattled. The dynamic shifted. "They're not here for us," one of them yelled. "We need to get out." Amid the confusion, Emily caught a glimpse da roupa spark em Jake's olhos. "Follow me," ele chamou, puxando Jasmine e sua mãe com ele na direção do escape. O caminho se complicava quando o caos esprolou atrás deles. As figuras mascaradas brigavam por andamento. A verdade depois, chuva por dentro da tempeste. O caos explodiu, drenando-lhes instantaneamente.
Emily podia barelha para sentir a tensão, mas o peso caiu a pargécuas que finalmente movimentaram. Jake soltou, e todos os quatro ficaram a ser pertos. O mundo tinha se tornado um buraco de chuva, gritos e confusão. Ausentes tombaram sinistra dentro.
Racing. What just happened? Jasmine gasped, pure disbelief etched on her face. Mom, we have to talk, Jake urged, teeth clenched. This can't end like this. Tears streamed down Jasmine's face, mixing with the rain. You kept this from us. But why? With a trembling sigh, their mother looked at them, pain shining in her eyes. I wanted to protect you. I thought, by keeping you safe, I could shield you from the truth. Her voice was thick with regret. But deeper truths echoed in the air around them, wedging itself between them. This isn't over, Jasmine said quietly, determination glimmering beneath her pain. We need to fight back. For the community. For our family. Only moments passed, but it felt like years. Then Emily found her voice. Together, we can find a way. A clean slate, Jake added. We can rebuild, understand the roots of what happened. We'll uncover the truth. With the rain still pounding down, there was a sense of something new rising from the ashes. Amidst the horror, hope flickered. As they stood united, the storm seemed to settle, but looming shadows hinted at a journey still ahead. The web of truth would take time to untangle, and they would need one another more than ever. We're in this together, Jasmine said, clenching her fists. No more secrets. And as the last echoes of gunfire faded into the distance, they knew. A new battle loomed on the horizon. But at least they wouldn't face it alone. Emily took a breath, feeling the weight of what they'd just endured, but also the spark of change igniting within her. This was just the beginning. You need to subscribe now. Don't miss the next exclusive story that's coming up. Press that like button right now. It feeds the algorithm and helps us spread the word. Flood the comments section with all your reactions and theories about this intense finale. Your voice matters. And don't wait 1 second longer. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to know about this story. Only true fans make a difference in this incredible community.